YouTube? Here we back with another video. I know I'm slacking on posts and stuff, but I do have a lot of videos, or I have a couple for the Blazer that I haven't put together yet. Same thing with the Beamer. I have a couple for that one as well. I'm not sure if I posted a video on what happened with the Beamer, but long story short, engine blew, so I swapped it. You guys will see what I did with those two vehicles in another video. But today I actually picked up a new daily, and I feel like I say this every time I get another car. It's a daily, and then it turns into something else. It just I start modifying a little bit and then it just spirals out of control. But this car is, or should be, a legitimate daily. The truck was never a daily, by the way. That thing is a gas guzzler, so that wasn't gonna happen as a daily. But anyways, so without further ado, here is the new vehicle. Some of you may know, if you follow me on Instagram, that I used to have one of these. I actually had two. One of them I didn't really do much with, but my other one, it was a 96, and I had some XXRs, nothing crazy. It was lowered. It was pretty clean. If I get a chance, I'll insert a couple photos of it in this video for those that don't have me on Instagram. But with the way gas prices and just prices of everything in general are going, man, I just needed something that was gonna be reliable. Not that reliable, economical, excuse me, easy to work on, easy to find parts for, so on and so forth, and cheap to fix, and this car kind of fit that to a T. It's it's good on gas. It's a little single cam. It's cheap to fix. We all know Honda parts are relatively cheap, unless you're trying to go fast parts. Obviously cost some money, but just to maintain them and keep them going, keep them cheap. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I actually bought this about a month ago, and I've been driving it pretty much since like a month, maybe like 3 weeks ago or so. But this is an up north car. This car is from Philadelphia, to the best of my knowledge, or at least the owner that I got it from came from Philadelphia with this car. So I don't know if it was anywhere else, but from Philadelphia. So it does have rust, and it's actually a pretty decent amount of rust, not gonna lie. I'll get to that in a second, but just give you guys a little walk around of the car. This is a 1995 Honda Accord EX sedan. It is a 5-speed. You guys know it. If you guys know me, I don't drive automatics. The truck is really the only automatic vehicle I have or ever have owned. I had a couple other automatic cars, but all of them, by the time I got rid of them, or up until this point, they've all been manual swap. So the truck is the only automatic vehicle thus far. But yeah, so it's 95 Honda Accord EX. So EX models, came with sunroof, disc brakes in the back, ABS. It does not have leather seats, which is kind of a bummer, but it's not too big of a deal. I could probably find me some leather seats in the junkyard one of these days. What else? VTEC. This is the F22B1 engine. VTEC does not work right now. I've actually done a couple little things to this car. Nothing too much. Mainly just cleaning the interior because it was disgusting. I'll probably try to insert some clips of that as well. It was literally like cheese or some yellow crap that was just kind of gummed up on one side of the carpet, and it didn't even dry up. It was still soft the whole time. So the fact, you know, usually when something melts into the carpet, it's because it's really hot. And then after a while, it just kind of hardens and then, you know, just gets ugly, you know what I mean? But it's hard. But this stuff was still, it was so soft. It felt like it just melted into the carpet. But yeah, that's pretty much all I did to the car was clean it. Changed transmission fluid. I've changed the engine oil filter, of course. I've topped off the brake fluid. I'll get to that in a second. Why I had to top that off. I changed the LEDs in the cluster because they were faded, almost complete. Like you couldn't see the gauges at night. Like the numbers lit up, but they were like, in these Accords, they have like this kind of like spotlight type of deal where the needles don't light up. They're actually just like a solid, you know, whiter. Yeah, they're white. They're just painted white. And there's like 2 bulbs on the top of the cluster that shine over it so that you can see it. It's kind of like a flashlight type of deal. So those are blown. Couldn't see the gauges for crap. So I actually changed all those bulbs out. Those are they're all LEDs now, so those all work. I can actually see it at night. This car came with tint. It's had black housing headlights. That was also previous owner. It does have a sound system in the back. It's hideous, so I'm not gonna show you guys that right now. It works, but it just does not look appealing whatsoever. But anyways, so a couple things I'm gonna handle with this car is obviously body work. I bought this car specifically because it had everything else that I wanted, you know, as far as the sunroof, disc brakes, VTEC, all that good stuff. It looked all right, you know, and right now these things are like retarded expensive. So I chose this one because I actually went to go pick up another one that was not, the body was in better condition, but it didn't have a sunroof. That was the only downfall of it. But everything else it had, but somebody actually bought it before I did. It was a whole ordeal. I don't even want to get into it because I'm a little annoyed with that. But yeah, so I got that done. But a couple of the issues this thing has is, so while I was doing the oil change, I actually just realized I went under the car and the rear brake lines in the back, somebody, like, I guess they rusted out and broke in the rear and by the back wheels. So somebody cut those and actually like made their own kind of line to go to the wheels. But I actually just looked again, and this car, when I first got it, the brake pedal went like really far to the floor, which was weird. You know what I mean? I figured they just didn't bleed it right, but I bled it and the pedal's fine now. But when I was under the car just now, I saw brake fluid on the front portion of those same rear lines. So my brakes are leaking, and I also topped off the brake fluid about a week ago, and it was already like halfway down between the max and minimum. So definitely brakes are leaking. It also looks like the master, I mean, it looked like it was leaking at one point, because if you can see back there on the booster, how that paint's all wrinkled and stuff, which usually means that, you know, brake fluid has gotten all over it and instead of wrinkling it. But that master looks brand new. Like, that is the cleanest bad master I've ever seen, if it is. But I cleaned all that because there was some brake fluid over there, but I'm assuming, you know, they've been topping it off, they might have spilled it, or I don't know. But I cleaned that with brake cleaner just to, you know, see where it's coming from. But definitely gonna need to run some rear brake lines. Hopefully do that here in the next week or so. After that, we'll see if the master's leaking. Hopefully it isn't, but we shall see. And then another thing that's wrong with this is the VTEC's not working. The VTEC was actually like pissing oil. So I was like, okay, I changed those gaskets in there, which was a pain in the ass, because you're supposed to remove like everything right here, because there's like 3 bolts that bolt to the body of it. I didn't remove any of that. So I made it harder on myself, but I got it done. Changed the gaskets, still doesn't work. So I had to I grabbed my multimeter, which is probably what I should have done in the first place, but it was leaking, so had to be fixed regardless. But grabbed my multimeter, tested the solenoid, it's no good, so needs a VTEC solenoid. I'll replace that probably in the next week or so. I'm ordering a crap ton of parts for this thing because I'm trying to get it dialed. I'm trying to get it perfect so I can drive it wherever I want to drive it. Drive it to Washington if I want to, you know. This car does have 240,000 miles, by the way, which for an Accord is nothing really, in my opinion, because my last one had 380,000 miles and it ran mint. Only reason I got rid of it is because I drove it into a flooded road and bent a rod, and yeah, so that was that. But yeah, another thing is the clutch in this is slipping. All right, so I'm also ordering clutch that should be here within the next week or so, and I'll be changing that. Also, the transmission is making it's making a lot of noise. Like, it sounds like there's no fluid in there, but I changed the fluid in it, and when I did change the fluid, it was low, but the fluid looked new, which is scary because nobody changes transmission fluid. So the fact that there was new fluid in there means that probably, and you know, along with, you know, the transmission making noise and the axle seal is leaking, so I'm assuming they ran this transmission dry and kept driving it like that, and it tore up some of the synchros or some of the bearings or something in there, and then they realized and then put fluid in there, which is why the fluid was so new. But yeah, I changed the fluid in that already, still making noise. So when I get this clutch, either I need to get another transmission or try to get this one rebuilt. Yeah, and then let's see what else we got. AC works, power steering works, everything works for the most part. Here we have some slight body damage. I don't know what happened here, but this door is damaged, the fender's damaged, so both of these need to get replaced. The door is misaligned a little bit, I'm assuming from that, so that needs to get replaced eventually. And like I said, this does have rust, and this right here is like 90% of it, which that is atrocious. And I hate rust. My truck got rust, but it's a truck, you know, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, this thing has a decent, obviously somebody tried to fix it at one point. That's a little like Bondo right there, and there's just rust all the way along. There's rust down, you see that hole down there, and you can see it right there, all that rust right there, man. This a decent amount of rust for sure. But I have a buddy, he's a really good welder, and he said he can fix it. So I'm gonna get that whole thing cut out. I'll probably try to make a video on that as well. So right, definitely gonna end up just pretty much cutting this whole thing out all the way down to the bottom. He says he can do it with just like his own metal and forming himself, but I figured it'd be easier to just get a whole nother car and just cut that section out and weld it in. But I don't know, we'll see how that goes. But other than that, the only other rust is this right here, and it has just like little spots along there, you know, there's another hole down there. So this is, I mean, this is still pretty bad rust, but nowhere near as bad as the other side. And that is, as far as I can see, that is the only rust on this whole car, which, I mean, I'm saying that like it's not that much, but it is a lot of rust. But it's just these rear quarters that are all rusted. This tire has a slow leak. It has a plug in it, so I'm assuming it's leaking from there. And then the previous owner, I don't know why he chose to spray paint a bunch of stuff silver, but he did. So I'm probably gonna clean that off eventually. Not super important right now. What else? He had some jank ground wire here. Like, these were just kind of like dangling there, and then he put like his own it was like 0 gauge wire right there. This battery negative cable down there, it was broken. You can kind of maybe see that where the green, it was broken and kind of just hanging off. I just kind of put it underneath the bolt and just tightened it down for now until I can get a new one of those. That's pretty much it for it here. I mean, out here, I should say. So, also, hood needs to get replaced. Has some dents and it's dented in the middle a little bit. Bumper needs to get replaced. It does look like he hit something right here because this light is not aligned. You can see that. So, I mean, clearly hit something there. So, that radiator support might need to be pulled out just a touch. So let's go on the inside and see what we got. Tan interior. Not a huge fan of tan interior, but it's all right. Make the most of it. It looks way better in here than it did before. After I cleaned it, the steering wheel is trash. Missing the temperature knob. 5-speed, like I said. Radio's actually not that bad. It's actually a decent radio. It works really nice. Let's fire it up. All the lights work except for my gas light here. That bulb blew. So, but starts up really nice every time. ABS works. I don't have any check engine lights. I only have the airbag light there, which is not a huge deal. It's an old car. Missing this visor is broken off. This visor is missing this piece, so this light just stays on whenever I have my headlights on, because that cover piece is supposed to push this button right there to turn that off. Sunroof works fine. Yeah, that's what. Oh, this. Apologies, my phone connected to the radio, but this window motor here needs to be replaced. It's making. Well, it makes like a really bad growling noise when you lock it. Does have 2 different keys, unfortunately. One for the doors, the trunk, blah, 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 everything pretty much. And one for the ignition, which is this one. Glove box. I mean, the center console lid is missing. The glove box does fall open sometimes if you hit a nice bump. So there's that. And I mean, that's pretty much it. There's nothing crazy. I've just been doing like little maintenance things here and there on it. All the windows work. Passenger front windows a little bit weak, but I've been lubing up the tracks to make it last as long as possible. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This is the new update or new daily. I'm about to say I don't plan on doing much with this thing, but honestly, it's probably gonna turn into something different. Engine wise, it'll stay like this. The engine will stay stock, or the engine will stay in this car. I'm not swapping it or anything like that, unless the engine blows, of course. Then probably gonna swap it with H22 or K series would be nice, but I'm getting way too ahead of myself. So, but daily for now, I am gonna do my little touches here, like the body work. This is the first thing I'm gonna do after all the mechanical stuff is solid. So brake lines, all that other stuff I was talking about. And we're gonna get the body work done, or the rust fixed, painted. Definitely gonna get wheels, definitely gonna get coilovers. And then, maybe like little interior stuff like shift knob. Probably gonna throw a quick release in there instead of another stock steering wheel. Brakes, I'm gonna do a 5-lug conversion, so I have a bigger wheel option. Because I mean, these are 4x114, and like finding wheels in 4x114 is like, it's just not a thing. Never has been a thing, not even when these cars are new. But yeah, I'm gonna do a 5-lug swap it to 5x114. Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty straightforward little thing, and this is all over time, of course. But yeah, all I want to do is just make it look clean. I'm gonna leave the engine stock because I still want it to be reliable. I still want it to be good on gas and all that good stuff. Just want to make it look nice. It's hard. I struggle with driving stock cars. It's just, I don't know, I don't feel good in them. So, but yeah, that's the update for this. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned. Lots of stuff happening with this. Honestly, once I get the Beamer, which is almost done, like I literally need the smallest part ever, but it's almost done. It really just needs a tune and a MAF, but that is almost done. But once that's done, things are probably going to be moving really quickly with this, as far as, you know, repairs, you know, aesthetic stuff, pretty much. I'm actually probably going to do the repairs first on this, then finish the Beamer, then come back to this with the aesthetic stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. If you guys want to, you know, see the journey with this car and, you know, the rest of my cars, including the Celica, which I have stuff coming for that as well. I will make a video on that another day though. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Man. Yes, sir. I know y'all ain't never seen nothing as clean as this joint right here.